Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adini Ajishafe. While Nigerians are hoping that the returning of big soccer to Afcon big soccer will be live this year, but it seems that won't be happening because right now they just announced beach Afcon that has to do with CAF. They have removed Nigeria. That shows that Nigeria actually backed out from this competition. Talking about beach Afcon, that's the first story we'll be looking at. 2022 beach Afcon. Nigeria withdraws from competition. We're supposed to be in Group A alongside Mozambique, the host nation, Malawi, Morocco. We have Group B, Senegal, Uganda, Madagascar, and Egypt. But right now, Nigeria is no longer among the countries that will be competing for this competition that's supposed to start in a couple of days. But, well, even though it's going to be painful for all the players, well, maybe due to logistic issues or reasons, that's why Nigeria will be playing in that particular competition, beach Afcon. Well, this is just to let you know that Nigeria, they are just coming back after going on hiatus for a long time. But for the way it is, we are still going to go off again from beach Afcon. Well, I have in the studio Ibrahim Yusuf. Ibrahim, we won't be participating. And I recall yesterday, Busayo was talking about Nigeria and participating. At least hopefully we can get our teams back. We know what the Super Sand Eagles have done when it comes to big soccer. And after they went out from it, now they are back because Libya opted out. We are supposed to play qualifier against Libya. Libya opted out and we are supposed to go for this competition. Now we are out again.
Well, yesterday we really talked about beach soccer, how it's actually coming back, beach football in Nigeria. And we were hoping to see something happen because we did get rumors, we did get the feelers that Nigeria might not participate in the beach Afcon, which is very sad indeed. And I think that's not a very good thing for the new administration in the NFF.
No, I think because I made some confirmation and I learned that it's actually not the new NFF that's supposed to handle it. It's coming from the old NFF. Because the registration, wait, let me just explain something. The FIFA Under-17 World Cup, the ladies are in India right now, and the big soccer team that's supposed to go to Mozambique, all these have been registered earlier. They have been registered earlier by the old NFF that left. So the new NFF is just to come in.
So I'm just waiting for you to finish. It doesn't matter whether it is old NFF, whether it's new NFF, whether it's future NFF. It doesn't matter. NFF is NFF. We don't care whether you came in here yesterday or you were there day after tomorrow. Before you contest for election, you should have a plan to be able to hit the ground running. Whether it was old NFF that did it or future NFF that is going to do it, we don't care. All we know that is that NFF and NFF have failed to make the Soccer Sand Eagles go to Mozambique. Pinnick is in his house right now, chilling. Nobody's going to go and ask him.
It's so painful for these guys, really.
You understand?
So painful.
So that's the thing. So we really don't care who is where. What we need is for things to be done the right way.
They can work together as a team.
Exactly. We need things to be worked on the right way. Most of these guys that are in the new NFF were in the former NFF. Exactly. They were there. So what happens to the issue of continuity? Is it not just going to register these guys? Is it that we're saying that we don't have the talent?
Or is it that let's have the money for logistics, their flight, hotel, food and all that. That shouldn't be...
that should not be a problem. These are things that are supposed to be handled a very long time ago. So it's really a sad thing for the new NFF, now that it's coming in, that one of the tournaments that you should be able to use to hit the ground running with, you're not actually doing that. This is Mozambique. We're going to Mozambique. If we can take the Falconers to India,
Mozambique is closer, right?
Exactly. Even if it is by night bus, they can.
No, they can't. You want to fly through the river.
You understand? So that's the thing. So they need to be able to put things together, ensure that there's a smooth handover between these ones and these ones, and we have continuity so that our sports administration can get to where it needs to get. Our football administration can get to where it needs to get. It's really a bad omen for the new NFF that is coming in right now that we are unable to go to the beach soccer Afcon because. Just like you said, it's a sport that we've been away for a while. We're just coming back now. We're trying to make our mark. So let's see how far we have come, But unfortunately, that's not going to happen now because of one reason or the other. And the thing is, whatever the reason is, I'm really sorry to say this, but as football followers, we don't care. All we want is to see our national teams go there, participate, play against these teams that we believe we're competing with. But unfortunately, we're not because we're not even at their level to compete with them because we can't make it to tournaments like this. That's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate anyway because Nigerian team, the big soccer, won't be going to Maputo to fight for honor over there in Mozambique. Well, even though it's painful, I still recall what the Super Saiyan Eagles did under late coach Amadou Shuaibu. They really did well. In fact, if you recall, that particular squad was able to get the likes of Abu Aziz, Ibenebu, the one they call Mosquito. They all play. Isiaka Olawale was there. And right now, while we are hoping that they are going to be coming back after going out for at least 3, 4, 5 years now, the Beach Eagles have been quiet. But right now, they won't be going to the Afcon. And it is so sad that the players who right now hoping that they will be able to use that one to launch their career also internationally, that won't be happening. Well, let's leave beach soccer. Let's talk about for tonight. Matches will be coming up in Europa League fixtures that we have for you. Let's look at Europa League fixtures where Bodo Glimt, Arsenal, PSV and Dovon Zurich. Again, that's the match that will be coming up there. AK Larnaca, Fenerbahce, Dynamo Kiev, Reims, Roma goes away to Real Betis, Ludogorets Razgrad against Helsinki, and you have Sporting Braga away to Union Berlin be at home against Malmö FC of Sweden. Those are the matches coming up in Europa. And now, Brian, let's look at this quickly before we go to this. We're still talking about Europa, but the Europa, they have 16 matches thereabout coming up tonight. Well, you want to look at teams like Arsenal, Eindhoven, Reims, AS Roma. What would they be doing tonight?
Yeah, when you look at the fixture list, I mean, like the fixtures that jump out of this one. I mean, you have PSV Zurich, and you have Real Betis Roma. These are teams that you're usually used to seeing in
Champions
other
League.
leagues. Exactly, you're used to seeing them in other leagues. I mean, like playing against each other. I mean, like those two fixtures, if you put them in the Champions League, they will not be they will not seem out of place. But unfortunately, they find themselves in the Europa League. So I think these are two games that we will really love to watch. Arsenal Bodo Glimt, yes, well, it is Arsenal, so I think Arsenal fans will actually love to watch that. But I think it's not as spicy as the other two are going to be, judging by the caliber of the teams that we are talking about. But it is the Europa League, and the good thing about Europa League is that it's like an indigenous cup competition when you look at the Europa League, because you have the underdogs, you have the very high achievers and all that, and every once in a while you get an upset. Every once in a while, there's an upset that actually comes along. So
just like Eintracht Frankfurt did last time.
Exactly, Frankfurt actually went there unnoticed and they got it. So it's one of those things. So it's that league that actually has the potential to spring surprises, and we hope that we can actually get one or two tonight.
Well, let's see what's going to be happening while we're talking about Europa League fixtures. Now let's look at the other ones. 8 that will also be coming up tonight. Manchester United against Omonia Nicosia of Cyprus, Sheriff Tiraspol, Real Sociedad, Feyenoord, Milan. You have Lazio with David Roari against Tom Grass. It is very possible. Karabakh against Olympiacos. Freiburg of Germany. They play away to Nantes. Ferencváros against Belgrade. Monaco will play away to Turkish Superliga team, Trabzonspor. Those are the fixtures for tonight.
Yes, these are quite some interesting ones. I mean, like Trabzonspor, Monaco makes for interesting watching, and of course Lazio Sturm Graz as well. When you talk about Manchester United play Omonia Nicosia, you actually see it's actually going one way, unless there's something really out of the ordinary happens. Some of these matches we can actually predict them, but the Lazio game and of course the one against Trabzonspor, I think these are two games that we can actually look at and hope to get something a little bit balanced from what we're used to. One thing about the Europa League and of course the European Conference League is you get to see teams that you actually either haven't heard from in a very long time, or you haven't even heard of at all.
Or teams that actually made history before.
Exactly.
They went out
and now they're coming back. They're on their way back. You understand? Or you have teams that you have never heard of before. You know, those teams from Albania and Georgia and all that coming into the fray. Exactly, Azerbaijan and Estonia coming into the fray as well. So it's interesting in that fact. And just like I said earlier, those are leagues that actually gives you the opportunity to have maybe one or two upsets if you can be able to get them. So it has the characteristics of a local, or should I say an indigenous cup competition, because you have the big boys and you have the up and comers, and of course the guys on the bottom rung as well.
Now, if you say this, then it means Europa Conference League will have more indigenous clubs.
Yes, it will be like the Carabao Cup now. if the Europa League is the FA Cup, then that will be like the Carabao Cup.
That will be like Carabao Cup, where you have teams that you don't even expect to be there. They will be fighting for honors in Europa Conference. Let's look at our fixtures also. We have Europa Conference League. Let's quickly run through that before we look at the tables. Well, for Conference League, which that particular league is far deeper into the local scene. Fiorentina, Heart of Midlothian, Istanbul Basaksehir, at home against Skola. You have Salzburg against FCSB, West Ham United from England against Anderlecht of Belgium, Villarreal, Austria Vienna, Apoel Beersheva of Israel. They're playing against Lech Poznan of that's Poland. Partizan Belgrade against Cologne, and you have Slovako against OGC. Next, still looking at the Europa Conference fixtures. Quickly, let's look at the other one. The remaining 16 teams that will be fighting again. Apollon Limassol of Cyprus against AZ Eichmann of Netherlands. Vaduz versus Dnipro, Djurgardens, KA Ghent, and you have Molde against Shamrock Rovers. That's Cluj against Slavia Prague, and you have Sivasspor, that's Ahmed Musa's team. They play away to Balkani, while Slovan Bratislava, they will be at home against FC Basel of Switzerland. Bionic against Zalgiris of Greece. Those are the fixtures as we just read them out for you to at least look at the matches coming up. 16 matches in Europa Conference League. And now let's take us to the table in the Conference League for you to understand what is happening concerning this conference. Yes, let's look at Group A now. Quickly, Ibrahim, you agree with me that Istanbul Basaksehir really in this group you have 7 points. Fiorentina following suit, you have Hearts of Midlothian, and you have FS there. But so far, you have Istanbul leading the pack with 7 points after playing 3 matches.
Yeah, I think it's going according to script. This particular group and this table, you'll expect Basaksehir and Fiorentina to actually lead the pack. What might surprise you is the distance between Fiorentina and Hearts. You understand, when you look at the pedigree of the two teams, they're actually not on the same level. So you expect Fiorentina to have more daylight between them and Hearts right now, but at least Hearts is making things interesting. And of course, RFS, they're in it with a shout as well. They've got 2 points, and anything can actually happen from there. So it's Istanbul seems to be having the rub of the green when it comes to this group, but I think the remaining teams are keeping it interesting as well. They're not being blown out of the water, especially Hearts and RFS. They're giving a very good account of themselves. Unfortunately, it's the goal difference column that's what you should look at, and I think that is.
Well, it's so surprising. Look at Fiorentina. Amount of goal they scored is the amount of goal they've conceded. No goal. See, just 0.
Yeah, 0. At least it's better than -5 or -2.
They're second on the log.
Exactly, it's better than -5 or -2.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're giving as good as they get. Which is, I think it's good for them. At least they've actually got that, because Istanbul is running away from it. We're running away with it, actually.
With this their celebration, with one eye celebration.
You understand? So they're running away with it, and I think most likely this group is going to end as is. Yeah, Istanbul leading the way and Fiorentina coming, and then you have Hearts, yes, and the rest of them.
Well, we've been talking about the Europa Conference in the third tier of UEFA competitions. Now, let's take a look at Group B in the Europa Conference League, how it's standing right now. West Ham of England, they have 9 points. They have won 3 out of 3 with 4 goal difference. And you have Anderlecht of Belgium with 4 points. Salzburg, FSCB trailing with 3 and 1 respectively.
Yeah, well, apart from West Ham, who are running away with it, just like Istanbul in the other group that we saw, it's still tight. When you look at it, yes, you have 3 points, you have 4 points, and 1 point. So it's from between the second and the last team is just 3 points separates them, and some games to go. So everybody's in it with a shout when it comes to that. But West Ham are actually running away from it as expected. Anderlecht is a bit surprising, because judging by the pedigree of Anderlecht.
So from the way it is, if West Ham are able to win tonight, they will qualify.
Yeah, I think West Ham need a point.
Yes, if they are able to win, even a draw.
Yeah, a point will do. A point will do for West Ham. Well, but the rest of them need to fight it out amongst themselves to see who can actually come second in that group. But I still give it to Anderlecht, given the fact that they are Anderlecht. We know what they used to be before, and I think they're one of those teams that I think we talked about that were there before, and now they are probably on the rise or on the way down, something like that. So I think you give it to them, judging by their pedigree and of course how the group is standing.
And the team that has Cyborg, the name that sounds like a movie, Cyborg. Now let's grow Group C now. We're talking about your Europa Conference. Villarreal of Spain, they are also looking like West Ham. 9 points from 3 matches. Tonight, can they add to it? Lech Poznan of Poland, they have 4 points. You have Beersheva from Israel, and Austria win so far just a point in that group.
Yes, well, I think I expected a little more from Austria Vienna. They are not They are one of those teams that were really, really there in European football before, and they seem to have fallen off. And I think they should not have been having the kind of problems that they're having right now. Austria Vienna is a very strong side, used to be a very strong side, really. So I think I expected
even in
more
Austrian league, they are still very strong.
So I expected more from them from what we're actually getting right now. I mean, like, but just 1 point out of a possible 9 is really not good. And look at the goal difference. I mean, like minus 8. So it's too bad for it's really of that caliber. Exactly, a team of Austria Vienna's caliber. I think they're struggling against teams like Poznan and Hapoel Beersheva. Is not something to write home about at all.
If you think Austria, aside Salzburg, your mind will go straight down to Austria.
The thing is, until recently, you won't even call Salzburg.
Yes, until they really don't.
Yeah, exactly. Until recently, it's Austria Vienna. That's the first team that comes to mind when you talk about Austrian football, because they have more history than in any other
Salzburg.
Exactly. Yes. So until recently, when Salzburg got the Red Bull money and started doing all these things, it was Austria Vienna that was there before. But unfortunately, look at where they are now. And look at the difference between...
They've considered 8 goals.
And look at the difference between what Salzburg is doing and what they are doing. So, well, maybe if they get an injection of funds, who knows?
Look at Salzburg in Champions League.
Exactly, so that's the thing. So it's a lot of difference what a very good project and money can do.
Well, we've been looking at Europa Conference League. Let's take a look at Group D as they stand before the matches for tonight. In Group D, you have Partizan Belgrade, 5 points, a tough group. If we want to talk about this group, OGC Nice of France, 5, FC Cologne of Germany, 4, and you have Slovako with just a point. Although, like you said, when you talk about the script, they are playing according to the script.
Yes, I think this one is going according to script, because when you look at Partizan, you look at Nice, you look at Cologne, these are teams that you actually know in Europe. These are teams that have actually done it in European football before, and it's unfortunate that you find them in this Conference League now because of how far they have fallen. And I think it's going according to script, and it's as tight as it is right now, because I think all the teams that are there, apart from the Slovako, which are an unknown quantity, these teams are evenly matched. So anyone can take it here, and that is why you're seeing the table as it is. 5-5-4. I mean, like, it's so close and dicey. So tight, and there's every point counts. And I think this is where things like goal difference and head-to-head will really play a very
check
good
their
role.
Goal difference, a point, 1-1 each. All of them, 3 of them.
All of them have 1 goal.
It's very, very
So
tough.
that's when you start talking about things like goals scored, then you start talking about head-to-head and all that.
Goals conceded and all that.
Exactly. So it's going to be a very, very tight group. And just like you said earlier, it's going according to script. Partizan, Nice, Cologne, very, very strong teams in Europe before. But now they are actually on their way down.
Third tier. Europa
exactly.
Let's look at Group E now. E, we are really moving on in the Europa Conference League. AZ Eichmann, I remember when Pius Ikedia played for this squad, it really made that team to be popular in Nigeria. They have 9 points out of 9. The Dnipro 4, Vaduz 2, Apollon Nicosia with 1 in this particular Group E.
Yes, well, AZ are running away with it, and as you would expect them to, because when you look at the caliber of the teams that are actually there, you expect AZ to do a job when it comes to that. It's unfortunate. It's still one of those teams that you find surprising when you look at where they are. I mean, like, you actually think that we're talking about the Europa League when sometimes when you look at these teams, but unfortunately,
because most of them play.
Yeah,
in that
usually they play in the Europa League, and they're there. Sometimes they'll make a cameo in the Champions League and then go back out again
to where they belong.
At least, But right now, finding him the third tier is something that is a bit mind-boggling. But looking at the table, looking at the caliber of teams that are actually there, you expect AZ to be there with the maximum 9 points, so it's really not surprising.
It's not surprising to look at Group E and the way it's standing. Still looking at Europa Conference League. This is not Europa League anyway. The third tier we're talking about. Let's look at Group F. Before we go to G, let's look at F, Djurgården. That is another one. We're ahead of the likes of Ghent. As you remember how Ghent and Genk.
Exactly.
It's actually been doing well in German Jupiler League. But you have Molde of Norway. You have Shamrock Rovers. Although I don't know how their rock is getting shammed up. 1 point, 4-4 for Molde and Ghent. And for Djurgården, right now they have 7.
Well, this is actually one of those groups that that leaves you baffled. When you look at the teams that are actually there, you expect Genk, judging by their history, their caliber, their pedigree. Ghent, sorry,
yes.
Judging by their history, caliber, and pedigree, to actually go there and do a number on all these teams. Apart from Molde, that you've heard from before, and they are always in and around these circles. But I think you'll expect Ghent to actually do something worthwhile here. But they're not really struggling, because when you look at it, Djurgården has 7 points. They have 4. It's 3 points that separates them, and they're actually tied on points with Molde. So they're not really struggling, but at least you expect to see them up there. So it's one of those interesting groups, I think, when you look at it.
A tough group, if you ask me, because right now it's still open. Even though Djurgården are leading with 7 points, they have the same goal difference of 2, -6 for Shamrock Rovers, and you have 4 points for Molde and Ghent right now in the Group F. Let's look at Group G. Still talking about the Europa Conference League. Balkany, Sivasspor, Slavia Praha, and Cluj. They have 4 points apiece, and this is a very tough group. It's like they're having a meeting. Look at it. They've won one match, drew in 1, lost 1, and they have the same points.
Exactly, and the same goal difference as well.
Come on. What a group. What a tough group.
And the same goal difference as well. So that goes to show you how evenly matched these teams actually are. They've all played each other. That means that they've all won against each other with the same margin, and they've all lost against each other with the same margin as well. So I mean,
so each person have tasted the same thing.
Exactly. So I think it's a very, very tough group, and it shows that they're actually all evenly matched. You're surprised when you look at that group and you see Slavia Prague there, and you see how they're actually rubbing shoulders with Sivasspor and Balkany and CFR Cluj. Cluj used to make a cameo every once in a while in the Champions League. Yes.
When you mention, you know, Cluj, you look at, okay, this club, they are always here.
Yes,
Shakhtar,
exactly. Yes, you know, they usually make an appearance, a short cameo. Usually first round.
They play first round.
Yeah,
and
they go out. If they are lucky, they go back to the Europa.
They only get the money for performing.
Exactly, for qualifying and then going into the round of into the group stages.
They fall back to Europa.
They get their money, put it in their pocket, and they go back, and they're happy. You understand?
Seriously.
Unfortunately, now you find them in the Conference League, and they're slugging it out with the likes of Balkany and Sivasspor, who you will expect to see in a place like this. But this is a very interesting group. I think it's a group that everybody would like to keep his eye on, so that we'll see exactly how it goes.
Good one there. We've been looking at Europa Conference League as it's taking place tonight. Matches will be on Europa League and also Europa Conference League. We just have to roll out the way the table is standing before those matches. And now let's go international by looking at some transfer gossip here and there. Where AC Milan are interested in Chelsea midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek. That player is really interested in the team from Giuseppe Meazza now. They want to get him to their kit. See if he can add more spark to AC Milan. That's your club.
And really, they don't need. I don't think they need a player in the mold of Loftus-Cheek. If they're going to raid Chelsea for someone, I think it should be Hakim Ziyech. They actually need.
They want to go for Hakim.
They actually need a winger. They actually need a right winger to do the business for them.
So from what you are saying, the priority of Hakim Ziyech getting to AC Milan should be higher.
Of course, it should be higher than Loftus-Cheek. Of course, they don't need somebody in the middle of the park to play in the mold of Loftus-Cheek. I think they have players who can actually do a job there. What they need is strength on the right.
Go for Ziyech.
Exactly. They need Hakim Ziyech. That is the person that I actually need. There were talks during the summer. Unfortunately, they broke down. But I think there's a very good relationship between Chelsea and Milan, judging by the kind of business that has been done between the two teams. You know, Olivier Giroud moved there, Fikayo Tomori moved there as well, and so I think the relationship is quite good. And they got Bakayoko. Bakayoko is still on loan from Chelsea.
Yeah, maybe they will
exactly
see how you can
you
get
understand.
him back.
So, but I think if they're going to go and raid Chelsea for someone, it should be Hakim Ziyech and not Loftus-Cheek. They don't really need a player in the mold of Loftus-Cheek right now.
You know, at times I look at the sporting directors. At times they make a lot of errors when they are signing players. You know, look at what's happening at Nottingham Forest. After signing an entire team,
honestly,
they've sacked 2 of those guys that did the job.
Exactly.
2 of them have been sacked.
You know that's the problem. When you recruit just for the sake of recruiting, where you have tons of money and you just want to spend it. You go and you buy anybody that you feel that you should buy, and without thinking of how this is going to play, how is the philosophy of the team, how is the philosophy of the manager, are they going to fit into the current team that we have, our style of play and all that. You don't consider all these things, you just buy them for the sake of buying them. That is exactly what's happening to Forest. We saw it happen to Fulham a few years ago. Fulham came into the Premier League, they bought a boatload of players, and they still went down. And Nottingham Forest is facing the same thing right now. They bought like 21 players. They brought this season alone.
They spent like 150 million pounds.
A truckload of money, you know. And unfortunately, we all see where they are right now, and it's really sad when that happens, you know. So I think it's a very, very big problem of recruitment, and it's not just the recruitment, but how you recruit. That is the major problem.
Well, right now, Liverpool also, they are trying to get a player from Real Betis. His name is Rodriguez. That's the story we're looking at. Liverpool are monitoring Real Betis midfielder Guido Rodriguez for January transfer. Although they've been after him for a while and they couldn't get him during the summer, they want to go for him now in January. Jurgen Klopp trying to fortify his team in the midfield.
There's lots of things that Jurgen Klopp needs to do. Really, it's not happening for Liverpool. Yes, they won their Champions League match convincingly last time out, but it's easy for us to forget and paper over all the cracks that are actually in Liverpool this season. I think, yes, Guido Rodriguez is a good player. He's a player on the rise. He's a young man. He's doing lots of good things. But I think the problem with Liverpool goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than you going out there to get 1 or 2, 3 players to actually do a job for you. They have fantastic players. They have amazing players. I think it's a mentality issue. That is the problem in Liverpool right now. They're having a serious mentality issue. And I think Klopp has a very big job to do. You know, him giving up on the Premier League title, yes, I know he's trying to be realistic, but still, coming out publicly to give up on the Premier League title at this stage, I think it's not something that he should. Lots of people, I believe Klopp is losing it, and it might be the beginning of the end. I think he's circling the drains right now.
And maybe, like some people actually said, that the cause of the 7th year, I don't know where they get that from. I don't understand.
I think Jurgen Klopp is actually circling the drains, and depending on how well or how poorly they do this season, I think his job is is teetering at the moment, and I think he should leave. Really, he should leave. Liverpool have been clamoring for 30 years to win the Premiership. He got it for them.
So
I mean, like, finally,
at least
you know,
he has done everything.
He's won the Champions League for them.
What else?
So then, I mean,
nothing.
like, really, maybe he should try something new. He should try going somewhere else and doing something new. I mean, like, Thomas Tuchel was spotted in India a few days ago.
Maybe he should go to where? Indonesia.
Maybe he's going back to cricket. Maybe he's going back to cricket.
Oh my goodness.
We don't know.
What's the way to go? Let's take our last story that has to do with Lazio. Lazio boss Maurizio Sarri is not happy for the fact that they brought a linking midfielder Sergej Milinkovic-Savic to Juventus. He said, okay, this could be a distraction, and he's not really happy with it. He wants this player to be able to concentrate, scoring goals. He has played so many games for that club, and he has scored about 69 goals. And right now, I want Sergej concentrating. Don't distract him.
I think Maurizio Sarri just wants to whine. I think maybe
he's afraid that this guy will leave.
He just wants to whine. Every season, every summer, every transfer window, there are rumors of Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Anybody that actually follows Serie A or Lazio's football knows that that is a recurring theme every season, and every season he stays. So I think Maurizio Sarri is he just wants to whine, because at the end of the day, I believe Sergej will still stay at Lazio. If he'll move, I don't think he'll move in January. I doubt that. But still, it's a recurring theme, and I think Maurizio Sarri just wants to talk. And because at the end of the day, I still see Milinkovic-Savic staying there. Juventus, they buy players for fun. That is their problem. They buy players for fun, not really necessarily the players that they need. Because we saw that. They had a very good recruitment on paper last season, but look at what's going on with them now. They're being beaten by teams from Israel. So if you're saying that you're unhappy because your players being linked to Juventus, I don't think it's something that to worry about. If Sergej is going to leave Lazio, I believe he's not going to leave in January.
You should even be happy for the fact that they are linking him to a club like Juventus. That shows that the guy is very good.
Yeah, well, that's good for Sergej. Yeah, but not really good for Maurizio, just because he said, just like he said.
One of his best players.
Exactly. I think, arguably his best player, and he doesn't want to see a situation whereby his head will not be in the game when he. But I think he just wants to whine, because if that is the situation, I think every season Sergej will be in trouble.
Okay, now we have to go. We've just been talking with Ibrahim Yusuf. I want to appreciate you right now.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure coming on the show.
Oh, you're already looking like Jurgen Klopp. Anyway, just to go now, I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.